Good morning, Megapodlings. Checking my volume there. Good morning, Megapodlings. It's Crazy Joe. How is everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's Krazy After Dark time. Oh, I gotta reach. Good old Super Chat Hippo joins us today. We got Super Chat Hippo today. And we got a guest coming. He's not here yet, though. So he'll be here. Derek's here. Hello. Sean is here. And Punk Nerd and Gloop Trekker are both here. Good to see you all. And happy Tuesday. I did not do a Krazy After Dark last week. Last week I was on my family vacation. So we took the week off so I could spend the time with the family. Punk Nerd says, where was I last week? I did a lot of things. There was a lot of places. Dave has joined us. Welcome to the party, Dave.
This is the party?
This is the party.
This is what happens?
You know how you know it's a party? The exciting world of Metrics Lunchbox is here, so that's how you know.
Yeah, I gotta adjust this. There we go.
It's an exciting world of Metrics.
I'm not camera ready.
Yes. James Borland says, tonight I'm watching the Josie and the Pussycats live action movie. It's good so far. That is a good, underrated movie. Were you a fan of that movie, Dave?
I do like that movie.
Yeah. I remember our friend Brendan hated that movie. I don't even think he saw it.
Really reflecting.
I don't even think he saw it. I think he just was angry about the movie.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, well, I remember they had a lot of product placement in the movie, but it was a joke about product placement.
Yeah.
And he got angry because he said you can't have a joke about product placement and use real products because then, if you're using real products, then it cuts into the joke because you're just doing product placement. And I said, no, frankly, it wouldn't have been as funny if they had been fake products. Yeah. You needed the recognizable, like McDonald's arches and everything. Like it wouldn't have been quite as humorous.
They did the joke in Wayne's World. It was funny.
Yeah, absolutely. Brent Mania is here.
Funny about refreshing product placement, like this Poland Springs water.
Oh, yes. Or this MegaPodTastic coffee mug that's available on Cafe Press. cafepress.com/MegaPodTastic.
Mm.
Who the heck designed that logo anyway? Who came up? Some chump came up with that logo. That's
chump.
Lisa's here. She says, hi ho, Joe and Dave. Dave, do you know who Lisa is?
Is this the one who sent us the wonderful...
She sent us some Quaaludes. She mailed us Quaaludes.
I am hopped up on Quaaludes right now.
I don't think that's how Quaaludes work.
Oh, I don't know how.
Sean says, Dave, I find an Annabelle lunchbox. How do I curse people?
You put a Oreo big stuff in there and you keep it in there for 20 years and then they open it. That'll curse them.
Yes.
Or you can keep it in a Darth Vader action figure container. You know about that, right, Joe?
Oh, yeah, I know all about that. In fact, we told that story. Didn't we tell that story on the Lunchbox Bunch? And then you had the question, like, was this a true story or not? And then the next week we had to reveal if it was a true story or not. Remember that?
I did. Yeah.
It was a true story, people. It was a true story. Brent wants to know if we like the live action Fat Albert.
I find it intriguing.
I'm kind of amused by it, but for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm amused that it exists. I don't know. Why didn't they at least match the animation? Like at the beginning when they're cartoons, they didn't even make it look like the real cartoon.
No, but I will give them credit for keeping the weirdness of the characters in the live action versions. Like, yeah. Like with the dumb Donald who wears the hat.
Yeah.
He's like, well, what's under the? Is there like a scene or something like that where he says, "What's under the hat?" He's like, "Well, that's my face." And then they all see what's underneath the hat, and then they scream.
I think so. I forgot about that, but yeah, I think so. Wow. Gloop Trekker says the Lunchbox Bunch video reminded me of the Metric Marvels animated shorts in the 70s, like Schoolhouse Rock, but teaching about the metric system. See, there was a big metric push in the 70s.
Yeah, after you said that, I looked it up.
Yeah. I vaguely remember it because it carried over into the early 80s. Then I think they gave it up. Then they were like, all right, this is not working.
Gave it the whole 9 yards. And then
Conor McGregor wants to know if we tried to get the new Funko Turbo Man. He found one at Walmart.
I've been having Joe look for one for me.
I have not found that, but I did find the Funko Gorn.
Well, I got my Gorn, but he's up high, and if he's above me, and if I try and reach up, I'll knock down a million pops. So,
do you have Kitty Cat Spock?
I don't have Kitty Cat Spock, but I do have. Where's the camera? Baby Nut.
Oh, I think I have Adult Nut, but not Baby Nut.
Look at Baby Nut. How cute is Baby Nut?
Yeah.
Yeah. Baby Nut.
Oh boy. Sean wants to know what if any is good to watch. I'm not sure what that means. What if any?
What's something that's good to watch?
Something good to watch.
Suicide Squad movie that's on HBO Max.
Yeah, Suicide. You're not going to go wrong with Suicide Squad. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You could watch the Shaft quadrilogy, made up of Shaft, Shaft's Big Score, Shaft in Africa, The Brother Man in the Motherland, and then the 2000 Shaft and the most recent Shaft. So there you go. That's something you can watch.
You're really giving him the Shaft.
I'm really giving him the Shaft. That's right. You can't give enough of the Shaft.
You know what I watched recently? I don't know if I talked to you about this, but on Netflix, The Last Boy Scout is on there, and I haven't seen that probably since the 90s. It's a very entertaining movie.
I have never seen The Last Boy Scout.
It's a lot of really cheesy like one-liners. It's very reminiscent of an 80s action movie. It's like the end of that era, you know.
That was Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis. All right, I gotta look that up now. Was that a Dick Donner movie?
That's a Tony Scott.
Tony Scott. Okay. All right. Tony Scott. There you go. I just found out Jacob, my co-host on the podcast, I just found out that he has never seen True Romance. That's something he needs to correct. I love True Romance.
Coming Home in a Body Bag is one of my favorite films.
Yeah, what are they going to call the sequel to that? Body Bags 2.
Body Bags 2.
Puck Nerd says he ordered the Metallica Black Album box set and ordered an HD DVD player and eBay. Good deal, $30. Got a 20% off deal and went to a record store. There you go.
All right.
James says Fat Albert's his favorite Filmation cartoon, but that's not. Oh, James, you get him out of there. What a horrible thing. Dave,
Halloween 3? No. I love Halloween 3.
You did that beautiful Halloween 3 print that is I can't show it, but it's right to my right here.
Mm-hmm.
It says blank more days till Halloween, and I can fill in that.
Write in. Yeah, you can count down your own Halloween countdown. Because I put a dry erase sticker on it so you can write it in and wipe it off.
Trey says Cinema Sickness is scared to watch the DVD I sent him. Well, what's on the DVD you sent him, Trey? Do we want to know? I don't know. Greg's here. Greg says it's the Lunchbox Bunch.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Greg, I got one of these for you. One of these is coming your way. There you go. So
it's a lot of gornography you got going on there.
Yeah. Well, I like gornography. It's sexy. I'll be seeing Greg in 3 weeks, and then I won't be seeing my kids for 2 weeks. So that's the way that works. Because I will be quarantined. Turbo Man versus Colonel Chip Hazard. By the way, James, he says the best Filmation cartoon. I personally got to go with He-Man. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. That would be my. You know what else? Oh, here's another one I love. Gilligan's Planet.
Ghostbusters,
live action or animated? Like Filmation live action.
with the giant guy in the gorilla suit.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear. We're putting you to the test, Dave. We're testing your nerd cred here. Do you know the name of the guy who was in the gorilla suit?
The name of the guy that was in the gorilla suit?
Yes.
I guess it's got to be somebody famous.
He's one of the most famous. No, chat, don't help him out. Don't help him out here, chat. He was one of the most famous gorilla men in Hollywood. And his home to this day is a museum of sci-fi movies and props. And if you're in LA, you could actually tour his house. He's not really in good health these days, so he doesn't really give the tours anymore. But
it's a Gorilla Monsoon.
It was not Gorilla Monsoon. It's Bob Burns. Bob Burns. Yeah, he's one of the great gorilla men of Hollywood. That was a thing back in the 60s. They had guys who their specialty was they were gorillas. Because do you know why? Do you know how you became a gorilla man?
You take Neil Armstrong's banana away?
You had to own your suit.
Oh.
So basically, it was like these productions didn't want to spend the money to make a gorilla suit, so they would hire the guy who already had one.
So as long as you had a gorilla suit, you got a job.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. There you go. No, there's a whole documentary about him.
What if he just had a gorilla mask?
It's not good enough. You got to have a. And Bob Burns, man, he was almost blinded. He was almost blinded because he went on tour with Eddie Munster. He was going to be like, if there had been another season of the Munsters, Bob Burns was going to play Eddie's pet gorilla in the next season.
I heard Eddie Munster, when he leaves conventions, makes the tables filthy. He's a pig.
But people would mace him because they thought he was a real gorilla. They would get scared and like mace him and stuff. He almost went blind a couple times. Gloop Trekker says Star Trek the Animated Series is his favorite filmation. I cannot. That's a good one. Well, Brent, here's the guy to talk to. Brent wants Lunchbox Bunch merch.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like thongs.
Yes, we actually there are MegaPodTastic thongs on. That's a thing that really exists. We can make it.
We can make that happen.
We can make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta work on a good logo.
Brandon says, Jesse's talking to Brandon. He says, the only other person I've heard mention Nothing But Trouble. I love that movie. I cannot share your love of that film, Jesse. I don't.
That movie, I saw that in the theater.
Oh, God.
I remember I was working at the theater when that movie came out, and people would come out and try and get their money back. That's how angry they were about that movie. And I think that was the first time I had ever experienced people that angry about a movie that they went to go see.
But it's not like the theater made the movie.
No, but there wasn't any logic when you were dealing with angry customers. There was a lot of, that where you had to just be like, all right. People would rent from the video store when I worked there and complain about the movies. I remember one guy rented Fat Beach and then brought it back and complained this was awful. And I'm like, you just rented a movie called Fat Beach. Did you think it was going to be Casablanca?
Oh my God. I remember when you worked at the video store. You were a manager at the video store for a couple of years. People don't know Dave was a manager at a video store, and you were the video store that put Brian Atteen on the map. That's where you worked, mm-hmm. And I remember every night because you had the largest porn section in town. So every night, somebody would rent something, and like. After you'd get done work, we'd go out to the diner for get something to eat or something, and you'd tell me the weirdest title of the night. Like, oh, here's the one tonight. Mm-hmm. It was like
they had to write them down on a card, which is so humiliating. So they wouldn't let them take the boxes out of the bag. They had all the boxes locked up, and then they had these cards, and then people had to write the titles on the cards, and they didn't know if they were actually in stock. So they would bring up a card and they would put like their numbered preferences on the order of like which one they want. If they don't have that one, then go to this one, then go to that one. And some of these adult titles were the names were really long, very long names. And I'd have to go in the back and check. And then it was awful if the person would write like 6 things and then they'd be like, oh, none of them are in stock. Then they do this humiliating walk of shame back to the porn corner, the porner, and have to write more titles down and bring it up.
Do you remember the time our friend Nick was returning a porn movie and he was in line returning it and I didn't know what he had? And I walked over and like I really embarrassed him in the store because I didn't know what he rented. And I go, "Hey Nick, hey, returning a movie? What did you rent?" And he just goes, and then finally he goes, "It's porn."
We had a customer that he would rent stuff and then he would bring it back super fast, and we'd have like a timer in the back to see what the record was. And I don't know what was going on. I feel like he would make it to his car and then realize what he had and be like, and then just have to go back. So it was like there was like a chart. This is like the timer, like when he left, how fast would he come back? I don't think he ever made it a whole day.
I still remember some of the titles because you would like every night you would have like a title of the night that was like, this is the weirdest title. And I remember some of them. One of my favorites was Edward Penis Hands. That was one of the ones that you're like, you came back, you're like, someone rented Edward Penis Hands night. Yeah. That one never always stuck with me. I remember one night you were like, oh yeah, today somebody rented Creme de la Face.
That's a French one. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. No, that was always the highlight of my night, hearing what movie somebody rented at the video store.
Well, I told you, and you know the story too. With the one time the guy came in and he went up to the one guy that used to call me smoker all the time. Remember when he worked there? I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna use his name. So that's who. So you know who I'm referencing. And this guy, that employee, and he asked him for. It was an African American guy. He wanted an African American people in the porn. Right? So he said, "Get me that." So the guy just went in the back, but he grabbed him a gay one. And I guess just to be a smart ass, he did that. So then the guy comes back the next day to return it, and I'm the one who he's returning it to, and I'm hearing this whole story. He's like, your boy to be wrong. I had all my friends over, and we were going to watch it before the football game, which I don't understand what was going on. I put it in. I went upstairs to get the food, and they're all screaming, and I come down there, and there's two dudes on the movie. And I said, I saw the guy who worked there later. I said, "Why did you do that?" He goes, "Oh, he just asked. He just said, make sure it's African American." I was like, "Yeah, but you knew he didn't want it." So. Oh, it's a Troll 2. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever heard that story before.
Yeah. So he's
wow.
Eric is asking if I like Troll 2. I do enjoy that for a bad fun movie.
Yeah, it's a good double feature to watch with best worst movie. And Greg says it's going to be the best Dragon Con ever. I agree. Well, maybe not. We have to wear masks. I'd rather we didn't have to wear masks, but yeah, I don't know. Some people don't like needles. What are you going to do? Lisa says Lunchbox Bunch merch, a tiny lunchbox with Joe and Dave surrounded by lunchboxes. Could we do an infinity lunchbox?
Maybe we could do a lunchbox of us surrounded by the lunchbox on the lunchbox.
Yeah, like the Sesame Street one.
Yeah. Oh, no, we didn't talk about that one, did we?
Yeah, we talked. Well, I think we talked about. Did we? Lisa just bought that one. She got that lunchbox, the Infinity.
We were showing the Bambi one. I don't think we ever showed the Sesame Street one.
No, but we mentioned it. I think we mentioned that there was a Sesame Street one, but Lisa actually just bought that one. So.
That's a good one.
Connor wants to know if I watched Long Halloween 2 yet. I did not. I got it right here, but I have not had a chance to watch it yet. I think my wife wants to watch it with me, so that makes it a little bit more challenging. Have you seen what DC's doing? I don't know if it's going to show up, but DC's making like a mosaic on their spines, like it's like spelling out DC Comics or something.
Wow.
So I don't know.
What happens when they run out?
They got to stop making movies, or they got to add another word to their name, like DC Comics. and funny books.
Oh,
I
hi,
don't know.
Mark. I'm just thinking of the.
Yeah, no, I got you. Sean wants to know, what are good TV movies, Halloween TV movies to watch for Halloween this year? Dave, have you ever heard? This is one I stumbled upon only a couple of years ago, and it's on Shudder. It's on Shudder. It's on DVD. But have you ever heard of the what are the call letters? It's like the W like NUF Halloween special.
No.
WNUF Halloween special. It is a movie, but it's made to look like it's like a found footage movie, and it's made to look like somebody VHS taped a Halloween news broadcast in the 80s. And it's got commercials and news anchors, and it's made to look like somebody stuck a tape in the machine and just kept it recording. So first it's the news, then that's followed by, they keep talking about, and then after this we have a special after the news tonight where we're going to go and investigate a haunted house. And so first you sit through a full half hour of the news where the dentist is talking about how the candy's not good for your teeth, and it's like all this goofy stuff you would have seen on the news. Like, it's really
like commercials and stuff too, like fake commercials.
Yeah, fake, and it's got like VHS hiss, and like it's made to look like an old VHS tape. It's really entertaining. I that's one I would recommend that not a lot of people know. WNUF Halloween. It's on Shudder and DVD, but if you have Shudder, it's free there.
I'm not sure like Halloween TV movies, like Fat Beach. If you're looking it up, it's
PHAT.
I believe Coolio is in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Brent's got it. Fat Beach. There you go.
Fat Beach.
Oh, look at this. I'm way behind. We got a super chat from Brent. There we go. He wants to know if anyone rented Blank Me Sandwich.
I'm sure they did. Right? Isn't that where you saw it?
No,
you saw it somewhere else.
That's a story. I don't know if I should share that story. That was one that an ex-girlfriend lost at my house. She brought it over. She lost it, and I didn't know it was there. And then I was moving, and someone found it, and they thought it was mine, and they kept making jokes. They kept saying like, "Oh, Blank Me Sandwich," and they thought like that they were gonna like tease me, but I didn't get the joke because I didn't know. And then finally they're like, this is a movie that was in your room. And I'm like, it was? And then I found out and I go, oh yeah, that belongs to Selena.
She must have rented it then for Movies Unlimited.
Maybe she did. It was a DVD though. I mean, it wasn't.
Well, we had DVDs.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute though. That was probably gone by then though, right?
Right.
She probably just bought it.
I kept joking around because she lived with her mother. I kept joking around that I should mail it back to her and be like, here's the movie you lost.
Yeah.
I thought about, I didn't know him at the time, but I thought about mailing it to Cinema Sickness because I thought that would be hilarious because he does the unboxings on the air. Like he always like records, here's what's so, and I thought he'd pull that title out.
Right.
But I'm like, nah, I don't know the guy. He might not take kindly to that. He might call the police and be like, someone's sending me obscenities.
Right.
So I didn't know.
I don't think he would eat that kind of sandwich anyway either.
No. But he did sell it as a t-shirt in his store. So I'd like to, yeah, there you go. Gloop Trucker says he had a friend who worked at Suncoast. I worked at Suncoast. One night when he was there, some guy kept asking him for details about all the adult movies.
Yeah, but Suncoast never had like the real nasty stuff, right? It was always like that, like softcore, right? That was like where it stopped. Suncoast wouldn't have full-on porn, right?
I don't think they did. Punk Nerd says this will be one of the last live streams I'll see for a while. I have a psychology class on Thursday from 12 to 3, and your stream starts at 3. Well,
where are you? What part of the world is that?
Yeah, where are you, Punk Nerd?
Australia?
I don't know. He told me before, but I can't remember. I got old man brain. McGregor, Conor McGregor says that did I get all the new Star Trek Pops Walmart released? They had all the original cast. No, I really, I pretty much stay away from humans. I really only like alien characters.
Humans?
Spock's humanoid, obviously, but this is one of the few I have that's like a
I think
human.
we've discussed this before, but the problem with like some of the pops, like sometimes you don't know if you take them out of the box, you don't know who they are. They should make a game.
Yeah.
It should be like a game like who is it? And then you have to identify it from not seeing it in the box because
oh yeah, I remember Farmer Ted from 16 Candles. I never would have known who the hell that was.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is Anthony Michael Hall. Who knew? Lisa wants to know if the store had sperms of endearment.
You mean the Academy Award winning sperms of endearment?
James wants to know where Joey Baseball is. I think the answer is Lisa has warded him off. Apparently, Joey Baseball won't come into any stream where Lisa is present. He fears her. He totally fears her. By the way, we have a new Joey Ball. I don't know if you heard about this. You know,
Joey soccer ball?
No, we got Joey Bocce Ball. Joey Bocce Ball is our latest Patreon patron. He's in the end credits of all the videos. Joey Bocce Ball. So we had Joey Baseball, then we had Joey Football, and then Joey Hockey Puck, and now Joey Bocce Ball. Jacob and I call them collectively the Joey Balls. There's now a fourth Joey Ball.
Yeah.
Connor says, have I seen The Host on Shudder? Oh, yeah, I didn't like it. I did not like it. It felt too much like Unfriended. I'm like, I saw this before. I saw it was Unfriended. And also it kind of sucked because one of the lead actresses like tweeted out the ending.
Wait, which one is that? Is that the one? What's the one where they did it and it was like they were on COVID? It was like during COVID?
Yeah, that's it. They did over Zoom.
Oh yeah. And then they like hire a woman to perform a seance with them.
Right.
And then the one girl's like faking about it. Oh, spoiler. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that just kind of went off the rails. And you're right, it is a lot like Unfriended. Yeah. I guess it was neat for when it first came out because it was like they made this movie so fast, and
yeah,
it was. I don't know. It was okay.
James says we need Schoolhouse Rocks Pops, Conjunction Junction, and Bill. I want Star Trek Lower Decks. I want Lower Decks Pops. From IMDb, Fat Beach. A hefty homeboy borrows his dad's Mercedes and goes to the beach with his friends for wild sun and fun.
And can you believe someone complained about that when they brought it back? What did they want?
Well, I mean, did the movie deliver? Did a fat homeboy actually borrow the Mercedes and go to the beach with his friends? Because if that happened, you got what was promised.
Oh, we
Matchaluca wants to know if we saw Suicide Squad. Yes, we went together. You didn't watch our review. We did a review a week ago. Yeah, we were there the Thursday before it opened wide. We went to a preview screening. That movie is fantastic. I've watched it again. Did you watch it again on HBO?
Not yet. I spent the day watching Tenet.
No, there you go. Spent the day watching. Did you get your time back? Like at the end, was that like you never watched Tenet?
I went through the loop-de-loop machine, went back in time to smack myself for watching Tenet.
Oh my God, Tenet. Tenet was terrible. Joey Baseball is here.
He is here.
The first of the Joey Balls. The unofficial leader of the Joey Balls is in the house.
Knocking it out of the park.
There you go. Brent says, my friend rented a Christmas Vacation XXX movie once. What? I don't even know how.
I guess he really did show where he could fit a tree that big.
Oh. Sean wants to know if we watched the Marvel What If show. No, it hasn't premiered yet.
Yeah, it'll on Friday?
Tomorrow. All the Marvel shows premiere on Wednesdays now. Loki started it, but now Wednesday's the day. I liked Friday better. Friday made more sense.
Yeah.
There you go. Lisa
Didn't
said. Lisa said.
Stargirl came back tonight.
Stargirl, is that tonight? Stargirl's back this week. You're right. I don't know. Is it tonight? You've been watching Legends. My God, Legends. That show delivers. I really enjoy that show.
You like that show?
Yeah.
I don't know. I stopped watching a lot of them.
See, that and Superman are really the only Arrowverse shows I've been keeping up with. I gave up on the Flash. I really gave up on Batwoman. That's horrible. Have you tried Batwoman? Batwoman. It's
I never even tried it. I watched Black Lightning, maybe like the first 3, and then I just kind of got bored. I don't know. I always get bored with them.
Pastor of the Muppet says, I clickbaited him. He wants Yakos now. That was a good wiener.
Solid wiener.
I showed I made that thumbnail. I made the thumbnail and showed Christine. I said, "How's this?" She's like, "I like it." Dave's pointing to a wiener. So there you go. Should have known what you were getting. Should have known a thumbnail of Dave pointing to a wiener, and then we start talking about the adult videos. So there you go. You got what. What is the Holy Grail lunchbox for each of you? If we're talking Holy Grail, if we're talking like lunchbox that I'll never afford, I'm going to go Dome Star Trek from the 60s.
Like money is no object lunchbox. I'd probably go for the Beatles one.
There you go.
Yeah. Because that's pretty pricey.
Hey, Joe. Zachariah says, hey, Joe, how come DC movies that underperform are called bombs and Marvels do not? Well, in this pandemic era, I don't believe these movies are actually bombs. For example, Suicide Squad and Black Widow both really underperformed at the box office, but they were both available at home. And the studios have to know that. They had to know there was no scenario where these were going to be billion-dollar movies. It's just being realistic here. So I think in 2022, when all the people finally start taking their shots, and oh dear God, they better. When people start taking their shots and we can go out again, I think that the studios really need to go back to an exclusive window, no more of this streaming on television crap, and then you're going to see a whole different story. What do you think, Dave?
I don't think it'll ever get back. I think it's been, well, I mean, the movies, they make a lot of money, but I don't know. I feel like less people because there's more options. Because, I mean, you remember in the 90s and 80s, we didn't have this many options on where to watch movies. You had the theaters, video stores, and if it came on cable.
Right.
Now with all the streaming services, and I think going to the theater is less and less anyway. But I don't know if we'll ever get back to the heyday of the amount of people showing up to the movie. So I don't think the amount of money that a movie makes is necessarily a good gauge. You know what I mean? Right. Because like Suicide Squad, like you were saying, is like the number second most watched movie on HBO Max behind Mortal Kombat, or it's probably even the most watched movie on HBO Max now at this point, right? Probably. Yeah. So it's hard to gauge it, you know. But we're not going to. I don't think movies are going to go away because it's something to do out of your house. It's an outing, you know. Right. I keep saying I don't know, like. And I know he's wrong because it just doesn't make sense. But cinema sickness is always like, oh, no, everything's going to go to streaming because people don't want to leave their house. And I'm like, that is nonsense. People do want to leave their house. Let's take, for example, the teenager. The teenager going out on a date. Do you want to take your date to mom's house to watch Netflix with mom in the next room going, you guys want more pizza rolls? Like, I mean, they're not. They want to get out of the house. The parent who is home with the kids all day, and then it's like date night, they don't want to sit and watch HBO while the kids are. You want to get away from your kids. That's the goal. Get away from the kids. Mm-hmm. You know,
it doesn't make sense that people just want to sit in, and it's like, especially after we've sat in so long, it's like, now you can go out again. Great. I'm going to stay home and watch Netflix.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, we're still in this while the Delta variant goes on, but I mean, like once things are clear to go back, I just can't see who the person is that wants to keep sitting in their house. It doesn't make sense to me. Punk Nerd lives in Hawaii. Yes, he lives in Hawaii. So let's pack our things.
Top of the morning to you, Punk Nerd.
Let's go visit him right now because he's in Hawaii.
Lucky duck.
Jim says the studios are dumb. They think they will double dip. But people watch the pirate. Like the Black Widow is the most pirated movie in the world right now.
Can you hear this behind me? This guinea pig that I have chopping on the bar behind me?
I cannot hear the guinea pig. No.
All right. Just wondering. I have a guinea pig in a cage behind me that is making lots of noise. It's driving me crazy.
Lisa wants to know how my screening of the Great Muppet Caper went. It didn't go at all yet. I'm going tomorrow. Tomorrow night, I see the Great Muppet Caper. So back on the big screen. And guess who's here? Mr. J2H. Dave, has Joe pitched my podcast shirt idea to you yet?
I think you did.
The Back to the Future one.
Yes. That's a bit involved. We'll have to see if I have free time to draw something like that. But it was the two. Who was it? You?
He wanted me and him in the Back to the Future Part 2 pose, looking at the watches.
Looking at the watch. Yeah.
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 So I don't know. Tell Scott Derby it's for a lunch bag, and then he'll do it.
Oh, have Scott do it. Yeah, you get another artist one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just tell him it's for a lunch bag. He'll be like, I don't have time. I don't have time. It's for a lunch bag. Oh, okay.
Get his kid to ask for it, and then you get it done, and then I'll scan it in and get it on a shirt for you.
Greg says drive-ins should make a comeback. They kind of are. Dave, I don't know if you know this. You and I haven't talked about this. Did you know there's a brand new drive-in? It's not a pop-up. To the best of my knowledge, it's not a pop-up. It's a permanent brand new drive-in that just opened in Bear, Delaware. It's called the Bear Drive-In.
No.
During the pandemic, there were a few pop-up drive-ins. Like there was one over at Oaks. I think they were happening all over the country. Walmarts in their parking lot were doing Walmart drive-ins. But it was a temporary thing. It was like, hey, there's a pandemic. People can't go out. We'll do these little pop-up drive-ins. But apparently some guy in Bear, Delaware just decided he wanted to open a drive-in. So that never happens. Like every drive-in is like some old drive-in that never went out of business. Nope. Some guy opened a brand new drive-in. So I don't know. I'd like to go check it out. The problem is drive-ins are a pain for me because I got to go alone. Christine won't go. I tried talking Jackie. My oldest daughter, I say to her like, hey, you want to go check out a drive-in? She goes, why would I want to watch a movie in the car? Jackie, I call her Jackie unenthused. She's unenthused because I don't know if you're familiar with her, Dave, but some of the viewers probably are aware. On YouTube, there's a girl named Jackie, super enthused,
right?
And she does theme parks. So my Jackie is unenthused by everything. So I always think it's like the polar opposite. Like we have Jackie super enthused on YouTube, and then here in our house we have Jackie unenthused. So I keep saying one of these days got to get those two together and just watch mediocrity reign because they'll cancel each other out and be like. Gloop Tracker wants cheap second-run theaters to make a comeback.
Oh, I love them. I saw so many good movies when that was a thing. And that was kind of like, twins getting I feel like my head's crooked or something. Anyway. Like when twin movie theaters were going out and all the multiplexes were coming in, all the twin movies became those second-run theaters. And that's where, I got to see so many, great movies for $1.
Oh yeah. There was a good one that when and granted this was over 10 years ago now. It was 2008, so it's been over a decade. But when I lived in Phoenix, there was a great one. they would get everything like 3 months later. So it would be like the end of summer, and they'd just be getting Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Iron Man. Like those movies opened in May. They'd be getting them in like late July or August, and it was like, I think it was like $3 all shows. It was a beautiful theater too. It was this theater that just happened to be like off the beaten path, so they didn't get a lot of foot traffic because of where they were located. By the way, I think we do need a sponsorship, Dave, because we are both shilling right now. We are shilling.
Delicious, refreshing Poland Springs.
Yeah, yes.
Or the camera is like Tenet. It's like backwards. If I go this direction, my hand on the screen goes the other direction. So
did you know it doesn't matter if you're drinking Poland Springs or Deer Park, because they're made by the same exact manufacturer? Nestle bottles both of these, so it really doesn't matter. Did you know this? Were you aware?
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. But this one's sourced in Maine. Is it from the same spring?
I don't know.
Where does the Deer Park say it's sourced from?
Frontier Springs, located in New Tripoli, Pennsylvania.
There you go. That's where it is.
Mm-hmm. Nestle Waters of North America, Inc. There you go.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Robert says, how is physical media selling? Is DVD still the highest selling? Yeah, DVD is still the highest selling form of physical media. It outsells Blu-ray. It super outsells 4K. But yeah, there it is. Jesse says, when a pirated movie like Black Widow is available in 4K, what did the studios think was going to happen? Absolutely. And let me tell you something. Those 4K quality bootlegs of Black Widow are very easy to come by. I know a guy, I'm not going to say his name, but I know a guy who has it on a thumb drive right there behind him, a bootleg. I'm not saying the guy's name, but right over there, he has a bootleg of Black Widow. Some a-hole. I don't know. That guy also paid to see it twice in the theaters.
He's a real a-hole.
Yeah. Let's see. Punk Nerd wants to say, did you get the Transformers the movie 4K Steelbook? Did I get the Transformers the movie 4K Steelbook? I don't know. Did I?
Ooh. You got the touch.
I got the power.
Oh my God, this guinea pig is driving me crazy.
What's he doing?
He's chomping on the board. Hold on. Let me get a special appearance. Look at this. Where's the camera? There it is.
There he is.
See him? Look at this annoying little rat. Look at him. Oh yeah. You're going in your pen now. You're going in the pen, buddy.
He likes the pen, though. That's a reward, isn't it? Oh, he's in the pen.
He's begging for food. He wants food. He's driving me crazy. Usually the kids give him food, but they're not here, so that's why I can do this, where it's not a noisy. I can't even get quiet with a guinea pig.
Sean wants to know if you heard about the chocolate record player. It sounds sweet.
All right. What's the B-side?
I don't know.
Oh, did you see this? I just saw this today, that in Erie, Pennsylvania, in September at their minor league baseball field, they're going to have all 4 of the original actors who were in That Thing You Do, a Wonders reunion.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So we should take a road trip all the way to Erie.
There you go. Is Ethan Embry going to be there?
It says all 4.
Wow. All right. The star of what's his name? Tom Everett Scott, star of American Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah. And Steve Zahn and that other guy who
did I tell you about my idea for the 3rd American Werewolf movie? American Werewolf in space. How does it work? He's in space by the moon. How does the lunar cycle affect him in space? These are questions we need answered.
Mm-hmm.
You'd watch that, wouldn't you?
There was the Marvel character that was like the werewolf in
Werewolf by Night?
Yeah, wasn't he was an astronaut?
Yeah, he
That
was.
got infected from something in outer space, and then isn't that what turned him into a werewolf?
Yeah, it was J. Jonah Jameson's son.
Yeah. Hmm.
Greg says I'd call it Mullen Springs. It's a Seinfeld reference.
Oh.
Gloop Trucker said saw the Street Fighter movie at a second run theater. I spent more playing the game than seeing the movie. Let's see. What are some movies we saw at discount theaters? I saw Army of Darkness. Remember the Bazaar?
I saw it.
Eric? Yeah.
That's where I saw it. Leprechaun. I saw Leprechaun.
They were $1.50. They lasted about a year. I think they lasted maybe about a year to $1.50 movies that they went out of business. But
yeah. Did you see Leprechaun there?
I did not see Leprechaun. But Army of Darkness, I paid $1.50 to see it there, and that was my introduction to those movies because I had not seen Evil Dead. And I didn't even know Army of Darkness was a sequel. Someone told me after the fact, and then I went back and rented the first two, but because it wasn't called like Evil Dead 3, so I didn't know. I was just like, oh, this looks fun.
Yeah, when did the first Evil Dead movie come out? The original Evil Dead?
I think it was 81. I think it was 19.
When did Evil Dead 2 come out?
I want to say 86, maybe 87.
I remember as a kid taking karate, and next door there was a video store, and they had a poster for the Evil Dead movies with the skull, with the human eye. The
right.
On the VHS and DVD, I guess on the DVD cover. But I remember always seeing that, going, "What is this movie?" And then I didn't discover it till years later. So,
Greg wants me to light our darkest hour. Let me see if I can open it. Open! Damn it! Open! Dun, 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 dun. I got the touch. There you go.
Hey, did you see? I think maybe it's Super 7 or Funko. I don't know who's putting it out, but they're putting out a dead Optimus Prime action figure.
Oh, I saw the reaction of that. Reaction had a dead Optimus Prime.
Okay. Maybe they did a reaction and now Super 7's doing one. It's like, that's the corpse of Optimus Prime.
Connor wants to know what happened to Water Tower Cinemas. They're no longer sponsoring me. That's what happened. They're still in the area. They're still here.
Switched to Deer Park in Poland Springs and not Water Tower. He's not getting his water.
Exactly. No, I supported them all through the pandemic. When they first opened, I bought a ton of gift cards. They were offering me free admission, so I would go feature them in my videos. Then they closed down for the pandemic. Then they reopened, and I just wanted to be supportive. So I refused. They still were offering me free movies, and I said, no. You've been closed for months. I'm going to pay because I want to support the theater. I bought some gift cards, did a whole bunch of stuff. Then there was a management shakeup, and the person who brought me in, recruited me, asked me to come and do promotion for them, ended up getting let go. And I still tried to work things out with them. And ultimately, this isn't my day job. Unlike Cinema Sickness, who or Adam the Woo, like this is what they do. They do YouTube. That's it. I got a job. I got kids. I don't make much off YouTube at all. I make very, very little amount, and I got to do what is most economic because I got kids to feed. So when they stopped having me do promotion for them and offering me free movies to do the promotion, I had to go to the most economic choice, and the most economic choice was pay full price at Water Tower Cinema or go back to AMC's A-List, which you pay $20 a month and see as many movies as you want. Well, when you're paying out of pocket, it's a no-brainer. I had to go with the cheapest. Now, it doesn't mean I'm never going to see a movie at Water Tower Cinema again. In fact, in 2 weeks, I'll be there and I'll do a video. I'm seeing Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home there. They're doing a special screening of Star Trek IV. I'll be there for that. But regularly, what theater am I going to go to regularly? I got to go what makes the most sense financially. And right now, that's AMC. Hey, if Water Tower wants to, sponsor me again, more than happy to support them. I do want them to survive. It is a local cinema, and that's a wonderful thing. And I appreciate what they're doing. But Dave, you know how it is. We got kids. We gotta
I don't know what you're talking about. I lost interest like 5 minutes into that conversation.
There you go. Yeah.
I just blanked out. I was like,
Richard said what thinks one of us is Adorkable. I don't know. Maybe is it you, Dave?
probably.
Maybe. You're the one who knows all the good adult titles from 10 years ago or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Klaatu Barada. No. There's a classic.
Did you see? I got tipped off to this today. The Funko keeps putting out these pops, right? And they don't stop. But they put out, remember Warduke from Dungeons and Dragons? You know that guy?
Yeah, he was the guy with the helmet, right?
Yeah. They did a Funko Pop, a Warduke.
Really?
It's a GameStop exclusive.
You and I both, let's read this live on the air. You and I both just got a text from our friend Greg.
I saw this, yeah.
Bert noticed the hat, but chose not to engage Ernie since he knows it'll lead to some ridiculous shit. Can I get that on camera there?
Yeah.
That just came into both of us from our friend Greg.
Yeah.
Not Greg, not Greg's game room. Another Greg.
He knows we like Bert.
Yep. I guess I'll send them that's not appropriate at all. Brent Mania says, "Did we like Return to Oz?" I love Return to Oz.
Oh yeah.
I like better than the classic original, frankly.
So dark too.
It's dark and it's faithful to the books.
Yeah,
like that's what the books were like. It's not a musical, It's the thing people got to remember is it's not a sequel to The Wizard of Oz. It's like a sequel to the book, not a sequel to the Somewhere Over the Rainbow movie.
Right. It's a shame because they never really got to do like an original. Like it's weird that Disney went that route when they did it because like they should have probably did a Wizard of Oz in that style, and then we would have never got Return to Oz. So I'm actually kind of glad we did because it's pretty screwed up.
Richard was talking about the guinea pig, but we're okay too.
Fair enough.
Let's see. Greg says now he's supporting me by going to AMC. Greg, we gotta have a talk. Do you work for AMC? I did not know that. Like I've that's the weird thing. I've known Greg for years, and I don't think I knew that because he commented on one of my videos like, "Thanks for supporting us." I gotta, Greg, you gotta tell me what you do for AMC because I don't know.
I worked at multiple AMCs.
Yeah, you sold someone part of your finger once.
I don't know if you can get it on camera. Hold on, it's gonna be. Where is it? If you can, wait, hold. I'm on the wrong hand too. I'm not even on the right hand. There's like a piece of my thumb missing, like a scar. Then I went into the nacho cheese. Yeah.
Water Tower Cinema is dead to us.
Burn them down.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, it's crazy. What happened at Water Tower Cinema is crazy because the manager, they had the same manager for years, a guy named Russell. And he quit. And they got a new manager named Allison. And Allison, she might be watching right now. Allison was awesome. She was a huge fan of like this channel and Jacob's channel and Rick and Cinema Sickness. She watched all of us. And she was really excited, and she had all these ideas like, oh, here's what we can do. Like, we can do this, and we can do that. And, like, she had all these ideas for exciting promotions. This was just a couple months ago. And I'm like, man, Allison's really got some great ideas. She's going to really turn this place into something special. So I went in one day. Allison was there, talked to her. And then no new movies came out for, like, 2 weeks. And I didn't go back to the theater for 2 weeks. And when I went back to the theater 2 weeks later, I said, is Allison here? And they said, oh, no, she quit. And then we got a new manager, and he quit too. And I'm like, I haven't been here in 2 weeks, and you went through 2 managers in 2 weeks? What the hell? So, and I haven't met the current manager, so I don't know. I'm open to going back. Just, hey, Water Tower, give me a call. The Goldberg Group. The Goldenberg Group is the name of the company that owns them. So give me a call. They like you very much, but they are not your damn whales.
Well, double dumbass on you, Greg.
Double dumbass on you. Did you guys pick up any fun things at the toy fair? Oh, you mean the Allentown Toy Show? Was that watch the next Lunchbox Bunch, Lisa. In fact, you're a Patreon member, so if you haven't seen it, you can watch it right now. It's up there now for Patreon members. But yeah, no, our next Lunchbox Bunch coming Friday is us hunting at the Allentown Toy Show.
I didn't get it. Well, I didn't get anything.
Greg, did you see the last? Greg, did you see the last episode of Lunchbox Bunch? The one where Dave's birthday surprise. If you haven't, Greg, you are really going to want to watch it because somebody makes a guest appearance. Do we want to say who? Or make them watch it?
Gotta watch it. Read the book.
Gotta watch it. Read the book. Yeah. No, there's a guest appearance in there. Joey says Wizard of Oz is public domain. Anyone can make their version. That's correct. That is true. But you can't use elements that were created for the movie, like the ruby slippers. Yeah, it's got to be the silver shoes. And Disney, even though they were making it based on the book, they did pay the licensing rights to MGM for the ruby slippers because they thought that was too iconic and people wouldn't have been happy if it had been silver shoes.
I think even when Return to Oz was made, Wizard of Oz at that point wasn't even public domain. It was still, it's like 100 years right after the.
Yeah, I think it is 100 years.
So it's not. It's only recently, somewhat recently, turned into public domain since that book came out in the early 1900s.
Sean says Legend of the Hidden Temple reboot is coming in October, and he says he will respect if we review it. I probably won't review that. I got to be honest with you, Sean. I never watched Legends of the Hidden Temple. I don't know the show.
Is that game show?
Yeah, it was like a Nickelodeon. I don't know it. Sean, I think he's a bit younger because he always asks me to review shows that aren't like really in my wheelhouse. Like I know a couple weeks ago he asked me to review the new iCarly, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to review the new iCarly because I've never seen the old iCarly. Like I'm not the guy to ask.
New version? They're doing a new version of it?
Apparently.
Oh.
I think it's for Paramount Plus.
I guess Nickelodeon stuff. They're going to just recycle that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that one. I remember what was the one that had there was Double Dare, and that's what I used to watch. He owns stock.
Noladish is in the house. Noladish is going to be my roommate in about 3 weeks in Atlanta. So there you go. I hope you're vaccinated. Deej. because I got to sleep next to you. He is. I know it. Magnets. Oh yeah, we should we share that story? Somebody was saying recently that they didn't want to get vaccinated because it makes you magnetic.
Oh, that's all over the
No, that's all over. That's all over the place.
That's not just one person.
I only heard it from when you told me about. I didn't know that was
yeah. There was the woman in Ohio trying to stick the key to her side, saying she was magnetized, and then she kept falling off of her.
But it's like you said, why wouldn't you welcome that superpower? Like,
yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, we have a vaccine that's going to turn us into superheroes, and you don't want this? Like, if you knew a radioactive spider was in the corner, wouldn't you be poking at it and taunting it for that bite?
Not a spider. I got bit by a radioactive guinea pig. Then that would be kind of cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Noladish says Legends of the Hidden Temple was awesome, and Jim Duggan agrees.
It's got to be an age thing because I grew up on Double Dare, so then it was kind of out of by the time. What was the one? Oh, it was Funhouse. Remember Funhouse?
Funhouse with JD
Roth.
JD Roth, yeah. Then he went on to didn't he do one of those one of those shows he
was the executive producer, I think, on that Beauty and the Geek show or something.
Isn't the guy who's taken over Jeopardy from Beauty and the Geek? I never saw Beauty and the Geek, but I like was reading there was an article about the guy who's going to take over Jeopardy. His name's like Mike Richards, but not Michael Richards from Seinfeld.
I wonder who he was. Was he like
I think he was the host.
The host. Okay. Yeah, J.D. Roth was like a producer or something on that. I remember, and I remember seeing the name going, "Oh my gosh, it's the guy from Funhouse."
He also had a show, and I bet Greg remembers this. After Funhouse ended, J.D. Roth hosted a TV show called Game Pro. And it was based on, there was a magazine called Game Pro. It was a video game magazine. And it was a half-hour TV show hosted by J.D. Roth, where they like told you like tips and tricks for like video games.
What was the video game show that they had in the 80s? Remember that one?
The video game show on Nickelodeon.
I don't think it was on Nickelodeon. I remember it being on like.
There was a show on. Are you thinking of Star? It was called like Starcade. Yeah, Nickelodeon had one too, though. They had one called Nick Arcade. But no, I do remember Starcade.
Starcade predates the Nick Arcade one. I feel like that was like. Then they would have like they would bring in like one of the newer games, and that was like the final challenge.
Yeah, no, Starcade was definitely older.
It came on like Channel 17 or something, and it was on. I remember it was on before I would go to school. Like it would be on in the morning. At a weird time, like 7:30 in the morning, it would come on.
Now, Nola is 43, and he remembers Legends of the Hidden Temple. So, I don't know. I never saw the show. Greg remembers Of course, Greg remembers Starcade. Yeah, Greg. Now we're talking. This is Greg's wheelhouse. This is what he. Hey, Maury.
Maury.
You there, Maury? Oh, boy. All right. It is 10 o'clock, so we do need to get going. And Nola Dish says Nick Arcade was one of his favorites. I remember, and I looked this up recently, because we were talking, or I was talking recently on the phone with Jerry Buckner and Garcia. And he sent me an autographed picture, which I have, taped to my computer here. I got this autographed picture of it's just, just Jerry Buckner. His partner has passed away, but they're being changed. You can't.
Pac-Man fever.
Yeah. Pac-Man fever is contagious. You got to get vaccinated.
Catch up with him.
Yeah. And but I was talking to him, and it made me. That's a story right there. I bought something from him. I bought a Funko Pop. Or not a Funko Pop, a pop socket, and it says Pac-Man Fever. I bought it off his website, and he never sent it. So after like weeks and weeks and weeks of waiting for my pop socket, I went and found there was a phone number, and I called, and Jerry Buckner answered the phone, and he was really nice. And I had a little conversation with him, and it reminded me of, there was an old Nickelodeon show called Live Wire. Do you remember Live Wire? It was like a talk show hosted by Fred Newman.
That sounds familiar.
But I remember Buckner and Garcia performed Pac-Man Fever on the show, and they had a Pac-Man machine. It wasn't even a Pac-Man machine. It was a Miss Pac-Man machine. And I thought it was weird because they're singing Pac-Man Fever, not Miss Pac-Man Fever, but they had a Miss Pac-Man machine, and some kid just got up out of the audience and came up on stage while they were playing and decided to start playing Pac-Man. And I'm like, what? They're not going to stop him? He's just allowed to go up on the stage and play Pac-Man? But I looked it up, and I found it on IMDb. I was not misremembering. That happened, but there's no video clips of it. So.
Did you smell the alien fungus?
I did. No, Nola Dish, I don't know if you're messing with me here, but I've been trying to get all the cast members from Dave Coulier on here, or all the cast members from Out of Control. I've had Hearn Burford and Angela Scoop Quigley. Dave Coulier has acknowledged that I'm trying to get him on here. I've sent him requests, and he likes all my requests.
And you said Diz used to run the newsstand in LA.
Yeah. Diz,
a few years ago, right?
I'm going to try to get Diz next, but Dave Coulier is very well aware of the fact that I want to have him on here. He has acknowledged the invite, but he has not responded to it. He keeps
cut it out.
Yes, he did. He hashtagged it. So, all right, I got to wrap this up because we have a podcast. I have a podcast to record with Jacob, and I got to do that now. So everybody, thanks for coming by. Joey Baseball says John P. Navin Jr. I don't know what we're saying that about, but I always approve of John P. Navin Jr. So yes, John P. Navin Jr., whatever he's doing.
Bopping his baloney.
Bopping his baloney. His dad taught him something real neat. And there we go. We'll be back next week. Thanks for coming by, Dave.
Yeah,
great having you here.
Having me, and the guest appearance by Emoji the guinea pig.
Yeah, and it's a shame Maury couldn't stop by, but anyway. Hey, Maury. All right, so we'll be back next week, or I'll be back next week. I don't know if Dave will be here. Maybe he'll be here. I don't know. It's up to him.
I don't know.
He doesn't know where he's going to be. Maybe it'll just be just Emoji the guinea pig. Maybe it'll just be me and him.
Yeah, it's a possibility. You never know.
All right, everybody, keep wearing those pajamas.